GPTs are a game changer, promising the creation of infinitely customized and fine-tuned versions of ChatGPT. But ever since their launch, one question came to people's minds. Have custom instructions become a relic of the past? Well, let's find out by using a real-world use case. But first, for those new to GPTs or custom instructions, let's quickly explain the two. Custom instructions is a feature that allows you to add preferences or requirements that you'd like ChatGPT to consider when it's generating responses for any conversation you start in the regular ChatGPT window. This can be particularly useful for more complex or nuanced requests that require a specific format or set of rules, which we'll see in just a minute. On the other hand, GPTs allow you to create custom versions of ChatGPT that combine instructions, extra knowledge such as data from a spreadsheet, and any combination of added skills you build into it. So at this point, you're already thinking, why not just build custom GPTs for everything then? And maybe you could. But let's zoom into custom instructions to maybe sway your thinking with this fun use case. To set up custom instructions, click your profile, then custom instructions. The first box is where you give ChatGPT context about yourself with information such as where you're based, what you do for work, etc. This sort of information helps ChatGPT predict what sort of information and references it should leverage to provide you an answer you'll deem satisfactory. The use case we're setting up here will be for a copywriter that freelances for a struggling media company. We'll call our company FizzFeed. So we'll let ChatGPT know that I am a copywriter for a news and entertainment brand. Most of my best work comes in the form of funny and cringy listicles that focus on movies and TV. My articles often seem hastily written and poorly researched, but that's okay. My goal is to continue pumping out these articles with as little effort as possible. In the next box is where we'll shape how our responses should look and feel like. So we'll let ChatGPT know that it should be very casual in a way that tries too hard to seem cool. Its responses should be in a listicle format that's easy to follow for my readers' short attention spans. And it's free to have opinions in the articles as they're more for entertainment and not useful information. Before proceeding, just make sure custom instructions are enabled for new chats, then hit save. So now, every single new conversation we start is going to use the custom instructions we just provided. Let's take it for a spin. My opening prompt will be, my boss wants me to write an article on trending movies and TV shows. What can you whip up for me? And as you can see in ChatGPT's response, it let us know that it's going to keep things snappy and fun, and then it proceeds to give us a listicle of 8 TV and movie trends. Okay, jokes aside, custom instructions provide a great way to set up a sort of set it and forget it experience for all your ChatGPT conversations. So for example, I tend to process information much faster when it's well structured and summarized in a logical hierarchy with bullet points and short sentences. And I could easily specify that preference in custom instructions so that I won't have to tell ChatGPT how I'd like my responses every single time. I'll come back to more pros and cons of using custom instructions over GPTs, but for now, let's dig into a scenario where using a GPT will be better than using custom instructions. Here, we have a GPT I built that takes the essence of the custom instructions we just used and combines them with an additional knowledge file I uploaded to the GPT. We'll take a look beneath the hood in a second to see how all this is set up. But for now, let's give it the exact same prompt as before and see what comes back. Now, as you can see, the GPT still gave us a listicle, but honestly, this one looks far better, more researched, and still sticks to our freelancer's brand. Now, let's take a look behind the scenes. To save time, I won't go through every single step used to build this GPT, but if you are curious on learning how to build one yourself or to learn about the recently announced update to the GPT Builder, feel free to check out the videos linked down below. On the GPT's configure page, you'll see that I named it FlixFeed, a friendly freelance copywriter named Flix, specializing on Netflix happenings. And how is it sourcing these happenings? Well, by pulling from the attached knowledge file. This CSV contains data on Netflix shows that this GPT then reads to fulfill its required tasks. Speaking of which, let's drill down into the instructions. This right here is where custom instructions and GPTs intersect, yet also differ. Unlike before, you now have one big text box to define everything you want your GPT to do and follow. You'll also notice the instructions I used here are different than the ones I used in the custom instructions section. That's because when I was building this GPT, I actually took the original custom instructions and asked the GPT builder to rewrite them in a way it thinks was best. What a time to be alive when making a better GPT simply involves asking the GPT to make itself better. But all things considered, the real superpower of using GPTs versus using the custom instructions feature is the knowledge section. Here, you can upload documents, spreadsheets, and so much more to give your GPT the exact context you need to accomplish your goal. In theory, you could always upload a file to a regular new chat that's using custom instructions, give ChatGPT the context and further instructions it needs, and then go about accomplishing your task. But that just sounds tedious, complicated, and repetitive. By using a custom-built GPT, you'll be able to get everything set up just once, and then be able to hit the ground running whenever you need to. So for example, say our copywriter also freelances for a more serious publication. Well, then they can build a second GPT whose instructions make it use a more formal tone, better sources, and more balanced writing, allowing them to easily switch between the two GPTs and contexts at a moment's notice. Okay, let's bring it all together by comparing custom instructions with building your own GPTs in 4 key areas. First, when it comes to ease of use, custom instructions take the cake here, at least initially. Setting up a meaningful GPT can take a bit of legwork, whereas with custom instructions, you can type in a couple of sentences and be well on your way. However, in terms of customization and personalization, GPTs really are unmatched, especially if you're willing to take the time to build one and refine its instructions and knowledge sources. Flexibility-wise, since custom instructions affect all your new chats outside of specific GPTs, that can make them a bit of a hassle if you use your ChatGPT for more than one use case, as sometimes you may forget to turn them off and run with an answer that's leading you down a non-ideal path for that point in time. So overall, custom instructions are great if you'd like to keep things simple, or even in situations where you may have a younger or elderly family member using your ChatGPT account and would like to ensure all their conversations have a certain level of guardrails and protections. For specific and advanced use cases, building your own GPT for each is certainly worth the effort, as it really can save you tremendous amounts of time given how you can load it up with documents, files, and data sets way ahead of time. I'd love to hear if you prefer to use custom instructions, GPTs, or a mix of both. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next one.